So the nights are getting darker sooner, the weather's turning gloomier, Halloween is looming large. So, do you fancy scaring yourself silly? You are being invited to visit a historic Derby building after sundown, where a group of artists, invited by a mysterious curator, are staging an exhibition of work designed to properly put the willies up you. I went to get a preview yesterday and I spoke to Tom Dale and Barbara Colbert.
We're standing in one of the downstairs rooms of St Helen's house. It's quite eerie and it's fallen apart quite a bit because I remember taking my son here, and I did courses here when he was very little, and there used to be like a little nursery around the corner in the wooden building, and it's just suddenly become extremely derelict. As you can see around you, there's parquet floors risen up because of the damp. There's great holes in the ceiling.
And there's a skeleton on the floor.
Well, I forgot to mention that bit as well, yes. And some rather creepy items and a lot of marvellous artwork around the walls as well.
And are you contributing to the artwork in this exhibition?
Yes, I've been collaborating with Tom here, who's standing next door to, and I do very large-scale charcoal drawings normally, but they've been reduced down to provide illustrations to... Tom's very interested in local history and various mysterious goings-on, so some of them are based places like Nun Street, the Dolphin, and for this particular project, as well as illustrations, I've done a large-scale sculpture which is in the other room, which you can't see.
Until you come and visit on a Saturday night?
Yes, of course.
We'll talk more about the art and the exhibition in a moment. I mean, Tom, tell us about the history of this place. We're actually planning something for the programme on Halloween at the moment. I looked into Derby, the most haunted city in the UK, they reckon. This building is included in that?
Yes, there's... Within this building itself, the building was built on the first ever monastery in Derby, which is why it's called St Helen's House. And the building here was, this large, lovely building was built on top. And I think that was 1797, I think.
So are there reports of ghosts here?
Yes, there are. There's the ghost of a monk sometimes seen appearing through the walls from when it used to be a monastery, and there's also a grey lady who might just appear on Saturday evenings for us.
That's a knowing comment. The idea of this exhibition then, I mean, who's behind it?
There's a curator who got in touch with us via email or phone call, but we don't know exactly who he is. I think it's a he.
An anonymous... Sure. Do you often do commissions for anonymous email?
It just sounded so intriguing, it felt it had to be done. And I think also the general public are so interested about coming, not just to see the artwork, which I think is fantastic, like an exhibition to come to, but also the fact that people are so interested in the house itself.
Yeah, I mean, so many people will have driven past, sort of, down past Five Lamps and beyond the building. It's been sort of not open to public access for so long. It's quite nice to have a nosy around, but it's not necessarily a fun and illuminating experience for the whole family, is it? There's a quote from... who said this? Claire, who's involved in the exhibition, said, we want to go beyond the boo jumps of a lot of horror shows and really disturb people.
I think that's more to the point. It's supposed to be more chilling, spine-tingling, rather than something that you'd go on a little horror ride at the fairground. That's the idea of it. And it really is to see the artwork and written work as well. So I feel it's an illuminating experience, I think.
It just seems ever so faintly creepy to me. Obviously, that is the idea. We're here in this derelict room, as you describe, surrounded by some... Well, it is disturbing. It is challenging artwork, isn't it, some of this?
I think it's a fantastic opportunity for people to see things a little bit more interesting in Derby. When you go to the Tate Modern in London, you'll see slightly disturbing images, but I think...
Not necessarily incorporating real blood.
That's not my artwork. I hope it's not my blood either.
How many artists are involved?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. They're about 10.
You've just given me a quick guided tour of the cellar with no electricity. I mean, Saturday night, so people... You've done this once. Are people coming away terrified?
Yes, they are. there's a pub.
Is that good?
Yes, there's a pub just opposite, and they normally have to go in for a quick drink to calm down afterwards. So, yes.
Oh, so the 7 stars are on board, then it's all good for business for them. Tell me a little bit more about the work that you've done for this, then. Your sculpture that you're not telling us too much about. What else?
Well, I don't normally do sculpture, but I've done these illustrations. The actual original artwork's very, very big. It's over 2 metres, which will be on exhibition at Banks's Mill. I work with Claire, who's one of the other people involved at Banks's Mill Studios, which is open at the end of November for everybody to look around, so you'll probably see them there, and also the Pipe Festival in Burton. So it will be seen, in the various bits of artwork will be exhibited again.
Are you just a little bit curious about who this anonymous curator of the exhibition is?
Yes, of course, but it could be anybody. That makes it a bit more exciting, I think.
It's another element of mystery in the whole thing.
Yes, I know. The idea is not to totally give people nightmares. The idea is to just make it a creepy and, like a suspense movie, that you sort of suddenly come across something and the whole title of the exhibition is about that, really, the haunted house. I thought I saw something beautiful, and I think some things you have to look quite carefully at.
There's a lot of little bits and detail and symbolism built into things, isn't there?
I think so, yes.
You're clearly relishing the whole event. How many Saturday nights is it on for?
It's on for 4 Saturday nights, so it's a limited event. It's rather, what was fantastic in Derby a few years ago, they had the open shop project where a lot of artists worked in shops, and this is it's not connected in any way to the same people, but it's the idea of art becomes accessible to the general public. And what I've really enjoyed is the fact that we've had so many people that are not who you'd expect. I've been really interested in coming. It's not, the goths with loads of piercings. It's sometimes somebody's nice old grandma that said, I really like the idea of that. I'm going to come along.
Don't you have to sign a waiver when you get here?
You do, yes. There are so many creepy things just about, and it's... yeah.
Is that a publicity stunt, or is that for insurance purposes?
It's no one really knows. The mysterious curator, he sort of insisted that
there are more questions than answers in this whole event.
Yeah, it could be for the better.
Every Saturday night, though, for the next 4 Saturday nights?
Every Saturday night, you can visit Facebook, and if you search Derby Haunted House Derby Haunted House Project, then you'll find out all about it, and you can order tickets through there. So,
enjoy, yes. You clearly are.
Of course, yes.
Look out for the monk, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Really, really interesting. A proper spooky backdrop for it as well. If you do fancy going along one Saturday night, then you do need to book. As they said, look them up.